Oh my gosh, is this thing rolling? Honesty, it's bound to seem. That's what I'm talking about today. Honesty. Um, Honesty and the price of honesty. The price of honesty is rejection. Now, you're either gonna reject yourself or you're gonna reject other people or experience rejection from other people. The rejection you want is the choice that you make. If you choose to be honest with yourself, do what's best for you, you will experience sometimes the rejection of other people. Versus if you choose to neglect your honesty, reject your honesty, and live in your honesty, you will be accepted by other people, but you will reject yourself. And of the two rejections, the one that I find the best to rest with at the end of the night is that I have rejected the outsiders. Because who do I have at the end of the day? Me, myself, and I. And I don't want to be a stranger in my own body. I don't want to be living in my own body. And I'm like, girl, what the heck? This is coming from someone who used to lie to himself. Not even lie to myself. I just prioritized other people about myself. Not even that I used to lie to myself, but I never used to take my opinion and my own truth into consideration. For whatever reason, I moved around this life like not necessarily trusting myself. And every time I didn't trust myself and I denied the truth that I stand on, me, myself, and I, those are times in life where I regretted it instantly. Oh my gosh. But the moment I started to actually like take what I say for word and like live by, I don't want to say my truth, but something that I hold to myself, an opinion that I have of myself, and this is how I honestly feel about a situation, about a certain philosophy, ideology of life. The moment I moved that way and I lived in a way where I was so honest with myself, I promise you, there's this freedom that I experienced even being a believer, even being saved. Because I think even like sometimes as a Christian, there's certain lies that you tell yourself, even within like the Christian context, there's so many lies in this thing, and there's so many ways in which like we want to fool ourselves and trick ourselves into like doing certain things. And what I've found is that the moment I'm honest with myself and I bring that honesty to God, that's where the freedom actually happens. That's where things actually start to change. So for one, sometimes I just get really, really, I'll just say to God that, dude, I'm lazy. I'm tired of being a Christian, eh? My brother. When it comes to these praying and reading my Bible and all this stuff, ek is genoeg. I'm enough. I'm tired. And in me bringing that honesty to him, it's like there's a sense of relief and help. And it's okay, you know? And he's like, that's all I value. It's just your honesty. So it's like, if the moment I started to understand that even God values my honesty, he doesn't want me to bring a version of myself that I'm pretending to be. It's like, no, dude, I'm bringing the real, raw me, the one who, Sana, sometimes, yeah, I'm wretched. I'm wretched. The moment I bring that wretchedness to him, it's like, oh, this is where the help actually comes. The moment I say to him that, Brachi, I don't feel like doing this. Like, I'm not even going to lie to you. I don't feel like doing this. That's when the help actually comes. But if I continue to lie and live as if pretend that I really want to do this, oh my gosh, where am I going to get the help from? Where am I going to get the help from? It's like that verse that says that in your weakness, that is where you see his strength. And this whole thing that like when you're weak, don't be scared to hide your weakness. Like don't try and psych yourself and be like, I'm strong. Because it's like, I go in your weakness, that's where God gets to show you his strength. So I've learned that even in my faith system, I don't get anywhere by lying. I can't get anywhere by lying. And so if it works like that with the creator of the universe, then how much more even with myself, with my family members, with friends. And I think if we were all just a lot more honest with ourselves, I feel like the world would be a lot better place. Actually, I think I say this about everything that I think about. Like, just hear me. Our relationship with honesty. If you learn to be more honest with yourself, as in, if you suck at something, tell yourself that I suck at this thing. The first step to anything, anyone will tell you, the first step to correcting anything, to becoming better in life, is the truth and acknowledgement of that truth that I suck at this thing. There's so many things in life where I'm like, I suck at this. And then you know what happens? I humble myself to the fact that, oh, I actually need help in this area. I suck at this, so I need help. That step one to actually becoming better, it starts with honesty. You don't like a relationship, it starts there. Now, with people marrying people that they don't even like, it all starts with the fact that they were lying to themselves from the jump. It's not like chiki chiki. Mutu, sometimes yes, mutu no change in the middle of a marriage and whatever, but that changes due to like humans are supposed to evolve, we're supposed to change the cycle of life. But then there's a changing way you start to show your true colors. You should have shown those true colors from the jump. You wouldn't have ended up, you know how like there's this pandemic of like older people saying, guys, like saying to the younger generations, "Ninga shadi, ninga shadi, there's nothing there in marriage," and people are just like, "Oh yeah, divorce, even when you're Christian, your divorce is still on the table." And I'm like, oh, but all of this starts with lying to yourselves, because before you go and desire something, I'm someone, I always assess, why do I even want this thing? Even things that I don't want. Sometimes I'll say I don't want that thing, but then I actually really do want it. I just don't want it because of the title that's gonna come with it. I really just don't want the title. But the thing, Yona, I want it. But okay, we start with, why do you want this thing? Do you even want this thing? So now I feel like part of the reason why all these 1Ks are like ninga shadi, ninga shadi, it's because they probably weren't even honest with themselves to say, but I don't even, do I even want to get married? No, or not even that. You know how, yo, I'm so for morals. I love morals. Wow, I love them. Keep them. Morals are good. But you know how like the older generation is so obsessed with like, I can't say they're obsessed with purity because even God's obsessed with purity. It's so weird to say. But like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, departing. Yeah, this, yeah, that. Why they have a funny in your what day, and then it's like they want to stop you from doing that. Like in your younger days, like especially for women, right? What kind of woman are you gonna be? I'm so groover. Una 20. What? So young and we are groover. Una so shata. Who's gonna marry you? The question is, babes, hey boo. Now, that whole thing of who's gonna marry you, why are you proving as a young lady? Tologuti, the one who's screaming the loudest, why are you doing this, is the one who desires to do that the most. And then instead of them going and grooving, doing what they actually wanted to do, they get married. And then you know what, they come and they tell you, don't get married. Go and live your life. Have a fun. Because they lied to themselves from the jump. They were never honest with themselves in saying, but Gahle Gahle Mina, at this point in time, I don't want to get married. I want to go groove. But all for the sake of what I said in the last video, that get to know yourself and like just be true to yourself. That okay, everything else will sort itself out. Except for if you're a believer. Don't do that. I don't encourage that. I don't condone that. Have fun. Have fun though. But yeah, this sort of places to have fun. But anyways, honesty is path to see. Um, I feel like if those people had done what they truly wanted to do at that point in time, they would not be singing right now, chanting the song that ninga shadi when you're married. Because if you look at all the people who are like, yeah, why would you want to get married young? Like, go have fun. It's because you didn't have fun. So at the root of your desire really is truly that you didn't have fun. And instead of having fun, you went to go get married, you settled down. But it's not to say that the life of settling down is bad. No, you just lived in a truth that wasn't your own. You rejected your honest opinion and truth and value and things that you desired for something else, for something that was correct according to society. You can't live according to society. You cannot. Even as a Christian, you can't live according to Christians. You live according to what God says. You don't live according to Isontoliti. You don't live according to Kereke Ir. You live according to what did God say? That's what you live by. That's your metric. That's your standard. Same thing in the world. You don't live according to society. No, and like in the world, I don't even know what you live according to. But for me, because of my faith, there's a God that I serve and I live according to what He says. Yes, that's it. I live according to what He says. But anyways, you can't go according to what society says. So with honesty, the more I've learned me, the more honest I am with myself, the safer I feel in a lot of places. The safer I feel in a lot of places. And then you know what this means? This means that the way even my body just like, you train your mind a lot of things, you train your brain to behave in a certain way. So from the moment you are not honest with yourself, what you're communicating to yourself is that your voice, your opinion matters less than ones of others. And so what does this mean? This means like in life what's going to happen is that because you haven't listened to yourself, or you haven't acted on a truth that you believe for so long, the older you get, you will know certain truths. Your body's still going to be your body, and that is going to communicate a truth to you that this is how you feel. This is your ideology on a certain situation. But because you've moved through your life so much by neglecting your truth, in moments when your body is going to tell you that, hey, this is the truth of the matter, you're so used to neglecting your own truth and looking to outside people that, you know, you've trained yourself that your truth doesn't matter. You need to listen to the outside voices. You need to listen to what that person says. And I promise you, it gets you nowhere. People's opinions are valid, so valid, but you can't live solely off of their opinions, because there's going to come a point in time where you're going to need to make a decision, and the decision is going to have to come from inside here. Now, if you're not well trained on accepting decisions that come from inside here, you're going to struggle at this point in time, because you're going to look outside, and outside people are going to be telling you different things, and it'll be the people that you love the most, the people that you value the most, and they will all be singing a different song, and then you're going to be confused. And inside, you will know what the answer is. Inside will tell you what it is that you need to do. But because you've grown up and conditioned yourself so much that you don't listen to what's happening inside, you always listen to outside, you're not going to listen to yourself. You're not. You aren't. I don't know how else to emphasize this thing of like what I said in the last video. Just get to know you. Once you get to know you, start walking in the truth of that. Start walking in the honesty of that. The price of honesty is rejection. You just choose what rejection you're going to walk in. Are you going to walk in the rejection of yourself, you rejecting yourself, rejecting your ideology, your ideologies, your feelings, your thoughts, your emotions, whatever the situation is, or you rejecting those stuff of other people concerning your life, though, concerning your life, concerning important things about your life? Because yes, there does come a time in life where you can't necessarily go according to you and you alone. You really, really can't. Like sometimes I just want to sit in bed and laze around in bed and just do nothing with my life. But I know that I can't do that. So you see now, this is where self-mastery needs to happen. This actually still goes back to knowing yourself, that the moment you're honest, even with the honesty, that if you know that you're a bit lazy, you need to be honest with yourself and say, okay, I'm a bit lazy. This means that I need a lot of discipline. I'm not one of those people. If discipline is not your strong suit, this means that the honest truth of the matter is that you're going to have to fight for discipline. And so you move around your life, you set up systems in where discipline is created, and you actually learn yourself. Like, I know that, my discipline sucks. So what does my morning routine look like? I don't pick up my phone, because I know that the moment I do that, it's going down the drain. I don't pick up my phone. My phone is sleep next to it for the alarm's sake. Actually, I don't even like the fact that I have an alarm. When I was way back when, in the perfect world, I didn't need an alarm to wake me up. I had a body clock that would wake me up at a certain time, and then I would pick up books. I pick up my Bible, I do my Bible. I pick up whatever book I'm reading at the time and I read that, because I know that if I do these things, the honest truth is that I don't have discipline when it comes to my phone. I don't have the discipline. I don't. I'm like I'm like an addict. I'm like, yeah, I can't say no. I can't. I have to put my phone on DND. I have to put my phone on DND in order for me to concentrate. I have to switch notifications off in order for me to actually like sit and concentrate. So I don't have like that discipline in me like that. I don't. So what does this mean? It means that I don't have the luxury of, people are just like, yeah, I just wake up and then, I can be on my phone and then like put it away. I don't have it in me. So I have to set up systems that make me not even reach for my phone, meaning that my phone must be there. And I wake up, body clock, and then Bible, book. Because then what do I know? I also know that the levels of dopamine that I need, I'm someone who needs dopamine. I don't just wake up and go. No, I need motivation sometimes, most of the time in the morning. And so if I can just feed myself the right dopamine stuff, and also being honest with myself and saying that, like, yo, dude, when I do this routine of I wake up and then I'm on my phone, my day is terrible after that. I don't really get anything done. Versus when I wake up and um read and stuff like that, there's a lot more that I can get done. See, it's all truth. Now I just have to be honest with myself to say, if the person that I'm trying to be, the things that I'm trying to reach in life, they require a certain amount of discipline and a certain amount of time to be done. This is where now I stand with myself and I say, okay, but honestly, if this routine of waking up and then being on my phone, the phone routine versus the book routine, which one works in my favor? And I say the book routine. Do you see how, even in the face of honesty, I have to say no to something? Bophelo e batla sacrifice. That's just the standard of life. You will always be sacrificing something. You will always be giving something up. That's just the rule of life. Honesty comes with that. You will always be giving something up. I think the problem, ne, this is why also I don't like this thing of accepting that all men are cheaters, because what you're doing is saying that you're allowing them to think that there's a life where sacrifices are not necessary when they really, really are. Mo bophelong, there's no, you can't really have best of both worlds. You can't, unfortunately. Not some situations you can, but not every situation is going to give you best of both worlds. You cannot say that as a man, as a woman, that you're going to get in a relationship. What is a relationship? A monogamous relationship where you are supposed to be devoted in your expression of romantic feelings to one person. You can't now say you're committing to that and then live the life of a bachelor, live the life of someone single. That's not how life works. If that's a sacrifice, this is why I'm saying honestly. If you want to get married, get married. But if you don't want to get married, don't get married. If you want to live the life of a bachelor, go live the life of a bachelor. What I say, don't convince yourself that you can do both. You can't. You will get burned. You cannot do both in all aspects of life. You cannot do both. But yeah, again, just being honest with yourself. Like, even the friendships that you have, again, a lot of the things would be solved if we were all just honest with ourselves. The friendships that you have. Do you really like the friendships that you have, right? And even with those honesties, like in these friendships, I'm sure you are who you attract. Fine. If you have not been honest with yourself and saying this is the type of person that I am, if you show up in a circle wearing a certain mask and for whatever reason you don't like the friends that you have, it's because the moment you showed up in the circle you were wearing a mask. Now as you evolve in life, you also get tired of putting this mask on. Then you're gonna say fake friends. You're gonna say real friends are finished. Real friends are never, they were never finished. You never found them to begin with because you put on a mask from day one. Same thing with relationships. There's this thing of, oh, you act all prim and proper in the beginning and then washa havoc starts. It's because you put on a mask. You didn't enter that relationship honestly. You didn't enter that friendship honestly. You didn't come with yourself to that friendship. You didn't bring you to the table. You put a mask on. You lied. You presented a lie in the beginning. And that's not how it works. You're supposed to come with you, yourself, and you. And if they don't accept you, that's okay. That's what I'm talking about, rejection. That you just have to choose which rejection are you going to go with. You have to be okay with standing up for something that you stand up for and be okay with other people rejecting you. Because again, in this life, the only thing that you have, wire, is you. Fight for yourself. Hey, fight for yourself. Other people will tell you that they had to learn the hard way, that there's no point in like vouching for other people. You still have to vouch for yourself. Who's gonna vouch for you if you don't vouch for yourself? Who's actually gonna vouch for you? You have to be your own coach. You have to be in your own corner saying, woo, 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 go, you got this, you know? But you also have to be in your own corner, disciplining yourself to say, hey, we're gonna lie to ourselves. Don't lie to yourselves. More belong. Freedom really starts when you stop lying to yourself. The friendships that you have. Do you like those people? Assess why. If you showed up in that friendship lying, saying that, hey, I'm a stoner, and really, truly in you, you're not a stoner. If you showed up saying, Ntando Puza, but really, truly, you don't like drinking, now you understand why you don't like those friendships, because it started on a lie. The foundation of the friendship was a lie. Because you're not into all of those things. You're not into none of those things. None of them. So yeah, stop lying, guys. Just be honest with yourself. Just be honest with yourself. And unfortunately, sometimes I think being honest with ourselves sucks. Not even with ourselves and other people sucks because you don't want to be rejected. Because something about telling the truth is just like it's something that you hold to your heart. So in a sense, it's like when you communicate this thing that you hold to your heart, if other people reject it, it really feels like they're rejecting you because man, your truth is personal, man. It comes from you. Um it really does come from you. And so when you present that to other people, I can understand how it can come off and feel a bit rejecty. But it, dude, it's, yo. It's so it's fine. You'd rather that rejection. You'd rather people rejecting you than you rejecting yourself. Because then again, you're gonna grow old, get into your 30s, 40s, and be those very same people who are projecting on the internet now saying, Ninga shat when you're younger. These older people now who are filling up the clubs they when clubs groove is supposed to be a childish scene. Now you're seeing abantu when are 40, when are 30 sitting there in the clubs and you're like, you're too old for this, baby girl. Or you're gonna be that old person who's gonna criticize people online and say, why when's I saw umngane, because it's like, hey bo, don't be mad at me for living a life that you always wanted to live. Just be honest with yourself and also bury that life that you were once gonna live. It's fine. You didn't live that life, it's okay. If you're in a position where you can't live that life again, make a funeral for it. Once upon a time, I spoke about grieving your life in one of the old videos, but grieve these things that never happened that you thought were gonna happen. Grieve them. Stop projecting on the internet. Hi, bo auntie, bo koko. Stop it. You didn't live according to your truth, and that's your business. Now that two kids are actually living for, Mara, it's my life, really. Let me be okay with the life that I live. Now they're gonna have a problem with it. Rashad. And to the two kids, if you still want to get married young, do that. Do it as long as it's something that you really want. And don't change. Don't change for somebody. Okay, that's all other topic on its own. But for real honesty, just be truthful from the jump. I promise you, the truth. And then we all know the truth. That's the thing. We all know it. You get in a relationship with someone and you just know that this thing's gonna end in 2 business days. When now you know it, but you won't. And then you know what happens. Then you're gonna end up cheating on someone's daughter. You're gonna cheat on someone's son because it's like, but they were never really entertaining. But I'm in a relationship because I'm a biggie lonely. Be honest with yourself then and say, I just want this thing because I'm lonely. Be honest with them and say, you know what? I'm just here because I'm lonely, and just know that, so that the other person also doesn't get burnt in the end. And I used to do my stupid shenanigans that I used to do. There was a time I was like, guys, ngifuna have a fun. Any guy I came across, I said, please, ne? Number one, it's very easy to fall in love with me. Number two, that's not what I'm looking for, ne? I'm here for vibes. If you're not here for vibes, I'm bamaj. Because the day you come to me and tell me that, hey, nyaktanda, I'm gonna come back to the conversation and say, remember I said I'm here for vibes, and remember I told you that it's very easy to fall in love with me. This ship that you are in, it's your boat, not mine. I won't be in the ship with you. I won't. It's that simple, it's that true. And if you and I, you're on the other side and you know that, hey, but I don't want that. I want something real. I want ride or die type of vibe. Humbo's finally ride or die. Go and look for that ride or die. And just be okay with the fact that Shem, you're not gonna get the ride or die from me. Sacrifice. Sacrifice, yeah. Just reject it. Just know that if I want a certain lifestyle, I'm not the girl for the job. That's the other girl for the job. And just go with it. Life would be this world, life, everything would be a lot easier if we're all just honest with ourselves, even in faith. If you are a Christian, if you just take the time to be honest with God, yay, your life will be so much better because He's not looking for a polished, when you say like a polished version of you, like it's not even about a polished version. Like He's not interested in what you think you should be bringing to the table. Bring what you have. That's honesty. That, hi, bo, this is me. And today, dude, today's rough. Today's rough. I don't have it in me to pray for 10 hours. Please help me. Or today, all I can give you is 2 minutes. Please help me. And I promise you, He takes more delight in you bringing honest, true worship to Him than bringing a facade, bringing something that you are pretending to be. But obviously, there are some times where you need to just dig in you and dug it out. That's the other thing with being honest with yourself, is that there will be times where you have to dug it out. Again, knowing yourself, that if you have a lazy bent, if you're bent towards being lazy and like procrastinating and stuff like that, you sometimes just have to be a tough parent to yourself and say, there's no room for that. This is where we want to go. This behavior is not going to get us there. It's going to get us there. Be honest with yourself. And that part of you that just wants to be lazy, maybe just give yourself a day to be lazy, like a day to just do nothing. It's okay. Tell that part of yourself that it's fine. I'm hugging you. You're lazy, yeah, but we can't be lazy 7 days in the week. We can be lazy one day. I give you one day for laziness, and then that's that. Feed that part of you. Be honest with yourself and say, I like being lazy. Talk to that lazy part. Nurture that lazy part for one day, and then the rest of the 6 days, Humble servants, get your bag, get your bag, get your bag, king. That's all you gotta do. And the thing is, with lying to yourself, there's a level of discomfort that you will always feel. Like you will naturally just always be uncomfortable. You'll feel uncomfortable in your own skin. And I just don't want us to be uncomfortable in our own skin. I want us to be cozy in our own skin. Like, I want us to be cozy in our own bodies. I want us to just, like, I don't feel estranged to yourself, to your mind. Don't let your heart and your mind feel like, yo, we don't know who this person that's ruling us is. Because here's the thing, there's a way that God governed things to happen. And I believe part of that governance is that you are supposed to be your own self-governor, right? Part of it. And under your self-government, you're supposed to be your own self-governor. And so with that, it's like the way God designed human beings, there's certain things that have been encoded in our hearts, in our minds, in our spirits. And the moment because these things have been encoded in us, meaning like from birth, they've been there. When you grow, these things that have been encoded in you from the jump will always communicate to you. It will always be expressed. You will be in a relationship and just feel like bubble gut's a bit uncomfortable, and it's like your coding inside telling you that this is not where you're supposed to be. And the more you ignore that coding, it doesn't go away. Unfortunately, it stays, because that's how God designed it to be. Is that it's supposed to be like your compass, intuition. I don't want to say intuition, but intuition that no, man, you shouldn't be going there, you shouldn't be doing this. It's how God designed things, that there's supposed to be an compass in your, there's a blueprint in your mind, in your heart, in your spirit, that you're supposed to follow through and through. And these are the things that help you like learn to move in a way that's honest to yourself and in part with you and the true you, the real you, the one that God wanted you to be. And the more you build up this habit of not going according to this, at some point you just forget about it. Like, you not even forget, it's still there, you just ignore it, because you're so used to listening to other people, to living according to other people's truths, to lying to yourself. And there's certain times where lying to yourself is not necessary. There's certain times where really, truly, if you don't feel like going outside, don't go outside. You don't have to be at every occasion. It's okay to skip a couple of occasions. I promise you, there was once I did this where I didn't go somewhere and I always went to that certain place. And the 1 year where I finally felt like I can't show up at this thing, the amount of peace I felt within myself, that finally, like year after year, I'm just like, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. And for the first time after so many years, I actually listened to that. Do you know what it feels like for your own self to feel like you were heard by yourself? As someone who's always like kind of put what I have to say about myself to the side. I used to not value my opinion. Now I value it so much. I'm still learning though. But the moment I actually like listen to myself and listen to my body and like was on some dude, I don't feel like going and doing this thing. And not to say you're always supposed to listen to your feelings, we'll get into that in another episode, but just to say that, like, dude, year in, year out, this is how I feel around this certain situation. And this was the first year where I listened to myself and I didn't give into that. And I was like, okay, I'm not gonna go. I felt like I hugged myself from inside. Like a part of me just felt so at peace and so at ease. And so that's how I learned that no, man, every year, like, these blueprints, these things that have been encoded in you, that you just can't shake a certain feeling off. You won't be able to shake that feeling until you actually give into that feeling. You won't shake it off until you give into it. And sometimes there are certain things that you just have to shake off. They really are. Like what? Like sometimes when it's cold, sometimes I just think to myself, actually not even when it's cold, sometimes I think to myself, I wonder how it'd be for me to get high as a Christian. But I won't do that, because I know that I don't want to see things I'm not supposed to see. But things like that, where obviously those things that you'll shake off, there's certain things that really you're supposed to shake off. But other things where, no, man, every year it's the same thing. Just listen to it, like, give into it for once and just see. There's so much peace that you'll experience. And then some things really truly just have to be surrendered to the Lord, that, dude, I don't want to do this, and you surrender it to God. If you don't subscribe to Jesus. I don't know who you surrender it to, but for me, I surrender it to Jesus. It's like, dude, I know I'm not supposed to be craving to do this thing, but I do crave to do this thing. So here it's in your hand. Over to you, can or no? Over to you. And I promise you, you won't die. You learn to be honest with yourself. Sometimes it pays off. It's like it pays off all the time because all you're doing is you're building up a system where every time you speak to you, you take the time to actually listen to yourself. That's the most rewarding thing ever. And you will learn that sometimes, maybe you weren't supposed to give in to yourself in that moment because, but you don't crucify yourself for that. It's your first time living this life. You're a newcomer. You're a newcomer. All of us, it's our first time. We are all newcomers. We are learning on the job. This is what I said the last time in the last episode. Mindfulness. You are learning on the job as you are becoming a human being. You are now learn. You are learning things about yourself. Yeah. And that's the whole cycle of life. It's just you're always in a position to be learning. That's all. You're learning new things about yourself. So sometimes you'll fend for your truth. And this thing that you had, this honesty, this sense of honesty that you have to just be honest with yourself and say, yo, but I know everyone likes soccer. I just hate it though. The only reason why I think I like it is because whenever I'm around the boys always talk about soccer. But truly, I'm not a soccer bro. I actually like anime. And you know what you do? You find your anime people. But you firstly just be okay with the fact that, but I like anime and that's okay. I like anime and that's okay. You be honest with yourself. You encounter people, you come across people, and if you have to lie to fit in with them, it's not even worth it because down the line, the friendship's gonna end anyways. The friendship's gonna end anyways. All you do is when those people come, you don't like what I like, fine, let them go. This life, there's many people in this world. I promise you, you won't be alone. This life was not designed to be lived alone. You won't be alone. It's fine. Let those people go. Other people will come in. Yeah, they will come in. And then you'll get to enjoy life with them. But that is it from me. Until the next time you see my face on your screen. My name is Lucy. Bye.